All right. Getting ready for a rental service representative interview, huh? Dealing with excavators and bulldozers, the heavy hitters of construction. Feeling a little intimidated.
It can definitely be a little nerve-wracking.
No worries. That's why we're here.
Exactly. We're going to dive deep into what this job really is all about.
And D, how to nail those interview questions.
We're going way beyond the basics here.
Consider this your crash course in, what is it?
Rental Service Representative Interview Mastery.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
What's the first question you're likely to get?
Okay, so the first one they're probably going to hit you with is, how do you ensure customer satisfaction?
Yeah, it sounds simple enough, right?
It does, but remember, there's a lot they're looking for beneath the surface.
Right.
You're not just renting out equipment.
You're building those relationships.
And exactly. Trust and those long-term relationships.
Yeah, okay, so instead of just saying, like, I'm friendly,
Right.
I need to paint a picture of how I go the extra mile.
I like that, yeah.
So maybe instead of, I provide excellent service,
Right.
maybe I could talk about how I proactively follow up with clients
Oh, nice.
to make sure the equipment's working, address any concerns.
That's a fantastic example. You're demonstrating that initiative, those problem-solving skills.
Okay.
That dedication to building those long-term relationships, that's music to a hiring manager's ears, honestly.
I'm starting to see the strategy here. So it's not just about stating the obvious.
Right.
It's about, like, showcasing your thought process.
Yes.
Showing how you would actually approach these real-world scenarios.
Exactly, and you got to be prepared for those follow-up questions.
Oh, okay.
You know, they might dig a little deeper. They might ask, can you give me a specific example of a time you went above and beyond for a customer?
Oh.
Or how would you handle a situation where a customer is unhappy with the equipment?
So I need to, like, have some stories ready to go.
Yes.
That highlight my skills.
Yes, those compelling stories, exactly.
Problem solving, customer service savvy, thinking on my feet.
You got it. All right, let's shift gears a bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a question that really focuses on showing your technical knowledge. Something like, describe your experience with construction and civil engineering machinery.
Okay, so this is where I impress them with my, like, machinery mastery.
It is. This is where you prove that you know the difference between a bulldozer and a backhoe, you know?
Well, what if I haven't spent years, behind the controls of these massive machines? How do I make a strong impression if my experience is a little more, limited?
Honesty is always key.
Okay.
But you can still highlight your passion, and that willingness to learn.
Okay.
Even if you haven't personally operated a specific type of excavator, you can still show off your knowledge about its capabilities, its applications, and safety procedures.
So maybe I could talk about how I've, researched different types of excavators.
Exactly.
I understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and I'm eager to get hands-on experience with them.
I love that. Show them you've done your homework. Okay.
But you're not just reciting facts. You're genuinely interested in this stuff.
Yeah.
And if you have any related experience, even if it's not directly operating heavy machinery,
Okay.
weave it in.
Yeah.
Did you work on a construction site in a different role? Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have a knack for mechanics? Those experiences can show them transferable skills.
I see. It's all about connecting those dots
Yeah.
between my knowledge, my experience, and showing how that translates into success in this role.
You got it. You're catching on quickly.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's talk about a question that assesses your organizational skills and your ability to handle a lot of things at once.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prioritize and manage your workload?
Oh, okay. So this sounds like they're trying to gauge how I would handle the chaos of a busy rental yard.
Precisely. They want to know you can juggle those client demands, the equipment schedules, the unexpected issues, without dropping the ball.
Okay.
So how do you stay organized? Think about systems you've used in the past.
Maybe a color-coded spreadsheet to track those rental deadlines, or a super detailed to-do list to keep you on track.
Ooh, what about using, like, project management software?
Yes.
That shows I'm organized and tech-savvy, right?
Absolutely. Mentioning those specific tools and techniques shows you're proactive about staying organized.
Okay, so instead of just saying I'm organized, I can walk them through an example of a time when I successfully juggled, multiple deadlines. And explain the system I used.
Love it. Remember, they're not looking for just the right answer. They're looking for how you think, how you approach challenges.
This is all really helpful. But I have to admit, prepping for these interviews can be, a little overwhelming.
For sure.
Is there a way to make this process a little easier?
There actually is.
Oh.
Have you heard of RoleCatcher?
RoleCatcher? No, tell me more.
Okay, so RoleCatcher is an AI-powered platform, and it helps you tailor your interview answers to specific job roles.
Well,
So you would upload the job description, and RoleCatcher analyzes it, identifying the key skills and qualifications the employer is looking for.
so it's like having a personal interview coach
Yes,
who knows exactly what the hiring manager wants.
exactly.
Wow, that's
It
amazing.
is. It's pretty cool.
So it's not just about having those like generic answers ready.
Right?
It's about crafting responses that really hit those specific requirements of the job.
That's exactly it.
Wow.
And RoleCatcher goes even further.
Okay.
You can input your answers to those common questions,
Uh-huh.
and it gives you feedback.
Wow.
It tells you how well your responses align with the job requirements.
Yeah.
And it'll even offer suggestions.
So it's like having this like personalized feedback loop helping me refine my answers
Yes.
and making sure I'm hitting all the key points.
Precisely.
Wow, this is incredible.
It is.
I'm definitely checking out RoleCatcher. It sounds like an invaluable tool.
It is. It takes a lot of that guesswork out of prepping for interviews.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
gives you that competitive edge.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's dive back into those interview questions.
Okay.
This next one is all about your sales skills.
Oh.
What strategies do you use to upsell rental services?
The upsell, right?
Yes.
I'm guessing they want to see if I can do more than just, rent out the basic equipment.
You got it. They want to see if you can identify those opportunities to increase revenue
Okay.
by offering additional services or suggesting upgrades that truly benefit the customer.
Okay, so instead of just renting a basic bulldozer,
Right.
I could suggest a newer model with advanced features that would improve their efficiency or even their safety.
Exactly. Or you could bundle that bulldozer rental with additional attachments, like a ripper or a blade that would make their job easier.
So it's about understanding what they need
Yes.
and then tailoring my suggestions
Exactly.
to give them more value.
It's a win-win.
Right.
The customer gets a better solution.
Yeah.
And the rental company gets that increased revenue.
Okay, but I don't want to be pushy.
Exactly. Remember, upselling is not about being manipulative. It's about building that trust
Yeah.
and showing the customer you genuinely have their best interests at heart.
That makes sense. I don't want to come off as a sleazy salesperson.
Exactly. And you should be prepared for follow-up questions that test how you handle objections.
Okay.
They might ask, how would you handle a customer who's hesitant to upgrade?
Uh-huh.
Or can you give me an example of a time you successfully upsold a rental service?
Got it. So it's they're really trying to assess my skills and my personality.
You got it. You're catching on so quickly.
Well, I'm learning from the best.
Oh, stop it.
All right, so what's next?
Let's face it, we all dread this question,
Okay.
but it's inevitable in a customer-facing role.
All right, hit me.
How do you handle customer complaints or issues with equipment?
Nobody likes dealing with complaints, but I know it's just part of the job, right? How do I show them I can handle these situations, calmly and professionally?
Okay, so the key here is to show empathy,
Okay.
active listening, and a solutions-oriented mindset.
So don't get defensive, even if I think they're being unreasonable.
Exactly. Let them vent,
Okay.
acknowledge their inconvenience,
Uh-huh.
listen attentively, summarize their concerns
Okay.
to show you understand,
Right.
and then just focus on finding a resolution.
So if the equipment they rented is malfunctioning,
Right.
I could offer, a replacement
Yes.
or maybe a discount on their rental fee.
Perfect. That's a great example of a solution-oriented approach.
Okay.
Don't forget to follow up with the customer after the issue's been resolved.
Oh, okay. So it shows I care.
Exactly. It shows you genuinely care about their experience.
All right, I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident about handling those tricky customer interactions.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
So what's next on our interview question agenda?
All right, let's talk about continuous learning. Question number 6. It's going to be something like, how do you stay up to date with industry trends and advancements?
Okay, so this is where I prove that I'm not stuck in the Stone Age
Yes.
of construction technology.
This industry is always evolving, right? New equipment, new software, new safety protocols.
Right.
They want to see that you're committed to staying ahead of the curve.
So how do I show them that I'm a lifelong learner, that I'm always looking for new knowledge?
Think about industry conferences or workshops you've been to,
Okay.
trade publications you subscribe to, online forums where you engage in discussions.
Okay, so maybe mentioning that I'm a member of the American Rental Association.
Yes.
And I go to their annual trade show.
Perfect example. And don't be afraid to mention specific websites you follow, too,
Yeah.
to stay updated on equipment reviews.
Oh, and I've taken some online courses, too, like on construction management and equipment safety.
Yeah.
Show initiative, right?
They absolutely do. They show that you're willing to invest in your professional development, you know, and to stay current on those best practices.
All right. Feeling good about this one. What's next?
Okay, let's talk about the big one, safety.
Okay.
Question number 7 is probably going to be something like, how do you ensure the safety of rental equipment and customers?
Yeah. Safety first. Right. This is where I show them that it's a top priority.
Yes,
It's not just about renting out the equipment. It's about making sure it's used responsibly
exactly.
and everybody goes home safe.
This is a high-stakes industry, and safety should always be at the forefront.
Okay. So where do I start?
Start by talking about how you enforce those safety protocols.
Like conducting thorough pre-rental inspections.
Yes.
Making sure that the equipment is actually in a good working order.
Yes.
And providing those clear safety guidelines to the customers before they operate anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
And be sure to emphasize that importance of using all the necessary safety gear and following those proper operating procedures.
What about, like, ongoing maintenance?
Oh, great point.
Making sure the equipment is regularly serviced,
Yes,
to prevent any potential malfunctions.
absolutely. That's a great point.
Okay.
Highlighting your dedication to that preventative maintenance shows you're proactive
Yeah.
about minimizing those risks.
And what about customer training?
Excellent point.
Because some of this equipment can be pretty complex, right?
It can.
And not everybody has the same level of experience.
If you have any experience in providing that hands-on training to customers, or if you're knowledgeable about any training programs offered by the company, be sure to mention that.
So basically, I need to paint a picture of myself as, like, a safety advocate.
Yes,
Someone who's looking out for the well-being of the equipment and the people using it.
exactly.
Got it. Safety first.
And be prepared for those follow-up questions.
Okay.
They might ask, like, can you describe a time you identified a potential safety hazard? Or what steps would you take if you saw a customer operating the equipment unsafely?
Okay. Safety message received.
Good.
What's next?
Let's dive into conflict resolution.
Oh,
Question number 8. It'll probably be something like, can you describe a time when you had to handle a difficult customer situation?
oh boy. Here we go. The dreaded behavioral question.
I know.
These can be tough. Any advice on how to approach this one?
Choose a specific example
Okay.
that highlights your problem-solving and communication skills.
Okay.
And don't just give a vague answer like, oh, I've dealt with angry customers before.
Okay. So I need to think of a real scenario
Yes.
that shows how I handled a challenging customer
Exactly.
and turned it into a good experience.
And focus on the actions you took and the skills you demonstrated.
So, for example, I could talk about a time when a customer was, furious because the equipment wasn't delivered on time.
That's a great example.
Okay.
Explain how you investigated that delay, how you communicated clearly with the customer, how you offered a solution like expedited delivery or a discount, and how you salvaged that relationship.
Okay. And I'm guessing they're going to be looking for, those soft skills too, right?
They are.
Empathy, patience,
Yeah.
the ability to, de-escalate a tense situation.
Exactly. Those are essential in a customer-facing role.
Okay, so these behavioral questions are like little mini case studies
They are.
where I get to show off my skills in action.
You got it.
This is great.
Okay, ready for the last question?
Hit me.
Do you have any questions for us?
Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be asking them questions.
You are?
I thought this was my chance to, impress them.
It's both. Asking thoughtful questions shows you're curious, you're engaged, and you're genuinely interested in the company and the role.
Okay, so what kind of questions should I be asking?
Ask about their company culture,
Okay.
their growth plans,
Mm.
or even specific projects they're working on that excite you.
Yeah.
You could ask about professional development opportunities
Ah.
or what they see as the biggest challenges and opportunities in the industry right now.
So it's not just about asking questions to, fill the silence.
Right.
It's about getting information that helps me decide if this is the right company for me.
Precisely. And it allows you to show off your knowledge of the industry, too.
This has been an incredible start to our deep dive.
I'm glad.
I'm already feeling so much more prepared and confident.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
But before we wrap up this first part,
Yes.
I want to remind everybody listening, we've got a lot more ground to cover. In part 2, we'll continue exploring those interview questions, and we'll delve deeper into those career insights and reveal even more strategies for making you stand out from the competition.
It's going to be good.
So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our deep dive into acing that rental service representative interview. Let's pick up where we left off, uncovering the strategies and insights that will help you really stand out from the crowd.
I'm ready to level up my interview game. What other questions should I be prepared for? Okay, let's talk about a question that often throws candidates off guard. How do you manage relationships with vendors and suppliers?
I haven't really thought about that aspect of the role. Why is it so important?
Well, remember, a rental service representative isn't just dealing with customers.
Right.
You're also the liaison between the rental company and the vendors who supply the equipment, parts, and services that you need to keep everything running smoothly.
Oh, okay. So it's like I'm the conductor, making sure all the instruments are in tune and playing together.
That's a great analogy. They want to see that you understand the importance of clear communication, negotiation skills, and building those strong relationships with these key players.
Okay, so I should talk about how I would establish clear lines of communication with vendors, negotiate favorable terms, and ensure timely delivery of equipment and parts.
Exactly. You can also mention any systems or tools you use to manage these relationships.
Oh, like using a software platform to track orders, manage inventory, and communicate with vendors.
That's a perfect example. Highlighting your familiarity with those industry standard tools shows you're organized, efficient, and tech savvy.
This is making me realize that this role involves a lot more than I initially thought. It's not just about customer service, it's about managing this whole network of relationships and resources.
It is. And speaking of insights, remember our AI-powered friend RoleCatcher. It can be incredibly helpful in tailoring your responses to this specific question.
Oh, right, I almost forgot about RoleCatcher. Remind me how it works again.
You upload that job description for the rental service representative position.
Okay.
RoleCatcher analyzes it, pinpointing the keywords and phrases that reveal what the hiring manager is truly looking for.
So it's like having a secret decoder ring that unlocks the hidden messages in the job description.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then you input your answers to this vendor management question.
Hmm.
RoleCatcher provides feedback on how well your responses align with those key requirements.
Hmm.
It might suggest you emphasize specific aspects of your experience, like your negotiation skills or your knowledge of inventory management systems.
This is making me feel a lot more confident about my interview prep. It's like having a personalized coach who knows exactly how to tailor my responses to impress the hiring manager.
That's the power of AI. Now let's shift gears and talk about what happens after the interview. You aced the questions, made a great impression. Now what?
I'm guessing the next step is sending a thank you note.
Absolutely. A well-crafted thank you note is a must-do. It shows you're appreciative of their time, reinforces your interest in the position, and gives you one last opportunity to highlight your qualifications.
Okay, so it's not just a formality. It's a strategic move that can keep me top of mind for the hiring manager.
Exactly. But don't stop there. While you're waiting to hear back, use this time to reflect on the interview experience.
Okay.
What went well? What could you have done better? This self-assessment is valuable for future interviews.
That's a great point. I often get so caught up in the anticipation of waiting for a response that I forget to take a step back and learn from the experience.
It's easy to get swept up in the emotions of the job search, but taking time for reflection can be incredibly valuable for your professional growth. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, your career trajectory. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years?
Wow, you're really making me think long term. To be honest, I haven't given it much thought beyond just landing this job.
That's understandable, but having a vision for your career path can help you make strategic decisions and set yourself up for success.
So how do I even begin to think about that? What are some potential career paths for someone starting out as a rental service representative?
Well, the rental industry offers a lot of different avenues for growth. You could move into a supervisory or management role, leading a team of representatives and overseeing operations.
Oh, okay. So instead of just coordinating rentals, I could be the one hiring and training new recruits and managing the whole rental process.
Exactly. Or you could specialize in a particular type of equipment or an industry niche. Do you have a passion for sustainable construction practices?
I do.
Maybe you could become the go-to expert for renting out eco-friendly equipment.
That's really appealing. I love the idea of aligning my career with my values.
It's a powerful motivator, and it can make your work feel even more meaningful. And speaking of professional growth, Have you considered pursuing the Certified Rental Professional CRP certification?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. Tell me more.
The CRP certification is a prestigious credential offered by the American Rental Association, the ARA. It demonstrates your commitment to the industry and validates your knowledge of rental operations, equipment, contracts, and safety practices.
So it's like a seal of approval showing potential employers that I'm serious about this career and I have the expertise to back it up.
Exactly. It can give you a competitive edge in the job market and open doors to advancement opportunities.
Wow, that's definitely something I need to look into. Is there anything else I can do to boost my career prospects in this field?
Networking is crucial in any industry, but especially in the close-knit world of construction and equipment rental. Attending industry events, connecting with people on LinkedIn, and getting involved in professional organizations like the ARA can create invaluable connections.
So it's not just about what's on my resume, it's about building relationships and making myself known in the industry.
Precisely. You never know when a casual conversation might lead to a job opportunity or a valuable mentorship.
This is all so encouraging. I'm starting to see how this isn't just a job. It's a gateway to a dynamic and fulfilling career.
That's the spirit. And remember, RoleCatcher can be your secret weapon throughout your career journey, helping you tailor your resume, cover letter, and even your LinkedIn profile to specific job roles.
Right. I'm starting to see how RoleCatcher can be a valuable tool way beyond just the interview process. It's like having a personalized career strategist in my back pocket.
You got it. Now let's take a deep breath and gear up for the final part of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, but we've still got some powerful strategies and insights to share that will help you ace that interview and launch your amazing career as a rental service representative. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive
We're in the home stretch now.
into the world of rental service representatives. Feeling pretty pumped, gotta say.
I like that attitude.
Ready to tackle those hiring managers.
I love it. You're going to do great.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
From mastering those tricky interview questions to exploring career paths, even leveraging the power of AI.
So much good stuff.
Now it's time to, put it all together
Exactly.
and make me an unstoppable force in that interview room.
You got this.
So, final challenge, right? What's the secret to truly standing out from the competition?
It's all about showcasing your unique value proposition.
Oh, okay.
What sets you apart from all those other candidates vying for that same position?
So, going beyond just listing my skills and experience
Exactly.
and demonstrating how my passions
Yes.
and even my personality,
That's right.
align with the company's mission and values.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay, so let's say I'm interviewing with a company that's known for their commitment to sustainable construction practices.
Okay.
I could highlight my passion for, protecting the environment
Yeah.
and my knowledge of that eco-friendly equipment.
I love that. You're connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Showing them that you've done your research.
Yeah.
And that you're genuinely excited about their company and what they stand for.
And showing my enthusiasm, too.
Oh,
eh?
absolutely.
Because this job takes a lot of energy
It does.
and passion for the industry.
It really does.
So I'm walking in there with confidence,
Yes.
eye contact,
Yeah.
a big smile,
Love it.
showing them I'm not just there to punch a clock.
That's what we want to see.
I'm there to help them succeed.
You got it. And remember, the interview is a two-way street. Come prepared with those thoughtful questions for them.
Oh, that's a good point. I always get so focused on answering their questions
I know, it's easy to do.
that I forget to think about what I want to ask.
It's important.
What kind of questions make a good impression?
You can ask about their company culture,
Okay.
their growth plans, or specific projects that they're working on that excite,
Yeah.
Ask about their approach to sustainability
Okay.
or what they see as the biggest challenges and opportunities in the rental industry right now.
So it's about getting information to make sure it's a good fit for me
Exactly.
and for them, right?
It is, and it shows off your knowledge of the industry, too.
Well, this has been an incredible journey.
It has.
I'm walking away with so many strategies and feeling so much more confident.
That's fantastic. Preparation is key.
Yeah,
And remember, RoleCatcher can really help.
absolutely.
It can be your secret weapon throughout your whole career journey,
For sure.
helping you with your resume, cover letter, even your LinkedIn profile.
Right? RoleCatcher can help with so much more than just interviews.
It can.
It's like having a personal career strategist.
That's a great way to put it.
Well, this has been incredible.
I'm glad you think so.
Everyone listening, you got this.
You do.
Don't forget to check out RoleCatcher.
Absolutely.
Take your interview prep to the next level.
To the next level.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
See you next time.